And good morning. It is Thursday, July 21st, 2022. I am Jay Clifton Payne. I am seeing a bit of a lag in the broadcasting. Hopefully, you're not hearing a lag in the audio. If you are, I apologize. We're kind of rolling with the thing. It's live. We're going to go with it. Hopefully, it won't be too distracting. Get through this July 21st, 2022 edition of Things You Might Have Heard. As we give you some stories, about 9 stories today. Couldn't have time cutting them down but some of them are really quick. I promise. That are stories that a lot of them you probably missed out on your main newscast. They are pretty big deals, but depending on who you picked up on, you probably missed out on basically the hullabaloo of what's going on. And oddly enough, on some of the sources that I got these from, some stories were a bit more firebrand than others. We'll explain that as we tell you which ones we go through there. Now, these are some of the top stories that you vetted from yesterday. We posted a new news story in our feed on Facebook and Twitter every 50 minutes, and you got a chance to engage with those stories. Like them, love them, hate them, share them. And that's what we have here, providing 9 of the top 15 stories out of about 33 stories that were posted within the day. Find out more about what we do at our main website. This is conversationproject.com, where you can see things like the partnerships page, things like the sponsors page, and some of the little things we do every single day, replays and whatnot. So let's get into the stories, because we've rambled a bunch, and the little bit of the time to continuing with the delay is getting to me. So hopefully it's not too much of an issue. Ben Affleck's daughter did not attend Jennifer Lopez's wedding. Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez, or the Bennifer Part 2, was a intimate affair, which was a family affair for their surprise wedding this past weekend. One person who was not there, who of course knew about it, was Jennifer Garner's daughter with Ben Affleck. That being, sorry, I flipped the page. There's all sort of chaos and things going on here. Their daughter, Violet, was not at the ceremony because she wanted to support her mom, Jennifer Garner. So this was a teaser story from yesterday, and this was a big deal to get into. So we're going to drop this in there. This is obviously not the top story, but there is still a lot of Bennifer working gossip going on, so we wanted to extend a little bit more time with the story, and we did it right here. Now, this is not to say that Violet is not in love in any bit with her new stepmom, and she has a bunch of them apparently, but Violet just did not want to go to the wedding because she wanted to basically stand by her mom, Jennifer Gardner, not her stepmom, Jennifer Lopez. Not that's necessarily a beef there. That got really weird really quick. Let's move on to the next one. Infamous cult leader arrested after dead body found in home, which is what you would suspect. This is a story that I'm pretty sure you missed everywhere, because I could not find very much on it. I may have actually been punked and as opposed to things up here, but there is a cult, or is a grouping called the Black Hammer, which people who left that grouping call it a cult, and it is filled with people who are anti-Semitic and anti-white, and saying a lot of crazy stuff. The leader is a man named Kodzo, or that's his kind of his fake name. His cult name is Godzig Kodzo. Apparently his real name is Augustus C. Romaine, and he is 36 years old, now sitting in prison, identified as, a person of issue because some member of his cult was found dead in his home. That's a good reason to arrest someone. Click on the link and go through the full story. It's really, really, really complicated, but this was the top story picked over by you guys across the way. This is the one that got the most engagement, so we threw it in here, not knowing fully what was going on. This is a really deep story, and for people like me who are into watching people in cults get out of cults, it's one of my things. It's an interesting thing, but this one on its own is pretty bizarre. Gospel singer Kim Burrell faces backlash after calling out broke, ugly congregation members. This is one that I posted late in the evening and thought would get no response, but this is one of the top 5 responses for this morning. So this is a story that I expected we might be doing tomorrow with some gathering, but we're doing it now, and we're doing it live, and it is spectacular. Now, Kim Burrell was, she's a gospel singer, she's a preacher, and she was speaking at a church called Kingdom City Church. And some people put onto Twitter some things she said about a 2-minute clip which went viral, going on about essentially what should be an empowering speech on eliminating people from your life that aren't doing very well. Unfortunately, she called, instead of calling for people to do people who aren't doing well, basically eliminate yourself from the broke people in the congregation, eliminate yourself from the ugly folks, get yourself in the good crowd, get yourself in the pretty crowd, get yourself in folks who are up and moving, not those folks that aren't doing well. Now, what's the problem with this? She's speaking this in a church where the whole point is broke people or broken people and people in bad situations, which make them not exactly attractive, should be coming into your church to be, fixed, as if they need fixing, at least getting back on better sorts. So saying all the ugly broke people who are in your church, who are there because they want to get better, and then just shunning them for the people who are already doing good, not a good look. One Twitter response of a clip, I had this quote, and this is why people don't go to church. There was no Jesus in this. And I would say, not that I am a Bible scholar or the most spiritual guy in the world, I'd have to agree with this one. Dave Chappelle's show canceled by Minneapolis venue after social media backlash. Now, Dave Chappelle's show was canceled by a venue. The show did not get canceled. It was moved to a different venue, a smaller venue. This happened a day or so ago where he was scheduled to perform at First Avenue, which is the place where they shot Purple Rain. That's what he got famous for. But there's a lot of backlash for him being Dave Chappelle right now. And so First Avenue shut that down a few hours before he was going on stage, and they moved his performance to another theater. So he got to perform that night, and he got it done in enough time to warn people, announce people, do what we would want to get people to see the new thing. However, he did get canceled from the original venue he was going at because people complained, and that is fair. Now, whether the complaints are fair, you be the judge of that. Whether people are complaining and trying to cancel Dave Chappelle for the right or wrong reasons, that's just what's going on. Dave Chappelle is a person who says cancel culture is not going to cancel me. He's doing shows. He's doing what he wants to do. He's doing his business deals the way he wants to. And he's saying the words he wants to say. And people are showing up paying to see him. So canceling is not happening per se for a man like Dave Chappelle. But in this case, the venue that he was playing on or planning to play on did cancel a performance. Henrik Stenson stripped of Ryder Cup captaincy, that's a word, as Live Golf Rift widens. Henrik Stenson was set to be a captain of the European team for the Ryder Cup. He no longer has that job because he went with the Live Golf Tour. The Live Golf Tour is paying people like drunken sailors to play golf for the Saudi-backed league, and they're playing all over the world at the best courses across the world and competing with the PGA because they can. There are two things that are causing this rift, if you will. Number one, they're competing with the granddaddy organization, which is like the UFSL back in the day, actually trying to go against the NFL. Didn't quite work out so well. And the Live Golf Tour, which is backed by Saudi Arabia, is what they're calling sports washing. They're essentially getting people, paying people a lot of money and bringing them in to watch something that's enjoyable to take a little bit off actually add luster into the bad feelings and the bad things that Saudis have done, including having extremely crazy work conditions to build golf courses in the middle of the desert, and of course that whole murder of that Khashoggi guy, that reporter guy that got chopped up and hacked with axes and hacksaws. That thing back there. If you think the fist bump with Joe Biden was a bad thing, this is becoming a really, 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 really weird thing. Let's add to the fire on this one. We don't have the story in the listing, but here's the deal. Many people, many 9/11 families of survivors of 9/11, people who died in 9/11, have been rallying to President Donald Trump to not hold a golf tournament in one of his golf tournaments, one of his golf clubs. I think it's happening this weekend. He not only is Trump going to let the Saudis do this thing because he likes Saudi money, he tells all the players, he said in an announcement, that all the players who are switching over to the Live Golf Tour because they're paying so much money, go get that money. That may be in a direct quote. I may have to look it up. That might be the actual quote is, go get that money, go do it for the money, get the money because the money is the deal. That is what's going on. So if you didn't think, if you are a golf fan, then you know this is a big deal. If you're not quite a golf fan, but just wondering what the politics of it all, it gets wrapped up in Saudi politics pretty easily, pretty quickly, and becomes a thing. Sesame Place apologized after viral video appears to show Mascot refusing to high five two young black girls. This is a story that's getting weirder and complicated and may be a big misunderstanding or may just be someone just not thinking. But a person dressed as the character of Zoe is wandering through Sesame Place. Sesame Place, a amusement park that's basically made for kids of color, kids of minorities, kids who aren't plain old white people so they can, live on Sesame Street. What apparently happened was a parent had a baby in their hands, like holding him up, and was like, "Yo, Zoe, grab my baby." And Zoe, the character, the person in the character suit, was like, "No, no, 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 I can't grab the baby." What the video looks like, it is Zoe is holding her hand up for a high five, and the little girls are trying to like high five her, but she's not actually completing the high five motion because the Zoe character person is waving off someone else, waving to the side, like, and it looks like she's like, "Psych, I'm not going to do this." This may be a really big understanding, but it does not look good. And Sesame Place is apologizing for the look and for what's happening and saying this is not what they do. Right now, that's the best explanation that we've got for this, and that's what I'm going with. If you know something that's a bit more detailed or even better or more salacious, hell, we'll take that as well. Drop it in the comments. We'll chat it up as best as can, because that's what we do. We conversate at the conversation. Woman who scared off grizzly bear on Montana camping trip was killed when it returned later and attacked her in her sleep, investigators says. There you have it. The headline is the story. A woman scared off a bear at her camp earlier in the day, only to have the same bear return later that evening and eat her essentially in her sleep. Just click on the link in the description and go deeper into the story. It's pretty grisly, it's pretty rough, but it was one of those that you just kind of had to get into. And trust me, you drop this one at the coffee shop, you're going to be the hero of the day, because this is one that, trust me, Anderson Cooper did not cover last night. And of course, prosecutors rest in contempt case against Steve Bannon. Steve Bannon agreed to speak before the January 6th committee because that old executive privilege thing got out of the wash. However, he was already in contempt of court for not actually speaking to the committee, and that trial is going on regardless. The prosecutors have rested their case. We will see what the defense pulls up, whether Steve Bannon will come up with some sort of crazy, wild BS to kind of BS the people, and whether it will work or not. Chances are it won't. The big thing is this thing comes down with it's basically a misdemeanor. It comes down to about 30 days in jail if you're mandatory, if you're convicted. And while it's not like he's going to Oz or anything like that, we'll see what happens when this thing plays itself out. And if he still will do his testimony for the January 6th committee, even though he's on trial for not doing his testimony for the January 6th committee. Got it? Good, because it makes no sense. Our teaser story for, and I've been having in the back of my mind, new shoes I can't wait play all morning since we put this in there. And this is going to post in a few hours. This is in a queue of stories, so this will take a while to get there, but this is one that I tell you is worth getting to. Air Force Colonel goes scorched earth on fellow officers in fiery resignation letter. A colonel who is leaving his post left a day early, and a 3-page memo just saying just how disgusted he was with everybody, with the base, with the hospital he was managing, with just the general consensus of life as it was and things going on. This is a case where if you're going to go out, you go out blazing, and this is the right way to go out. He served his term. He was at his point of leaving. He resigned a day early and was able to say these words because he had the clout to say them. Many people don't like their employer, don't like the way things work out, and don't have the power to do that. When you are the boss and you're going out the door and you're actually respected and people love your leadership, but the conditions you work in are horrible, that's a time to say something, and say something big and get some attention. How it will fix the problems, who knows? It's the military. I was in the military for my time. My father was in the military for a long time. There are plenty of things that are not right with the military, but there are plenty of things that are right with the military and the way things get done. It's a complicated place, complicated issue, and it's not going to be changed with one fiery speech that tells folks, hey, you guys kind of suck. You should deal with it. But it's one brick, and it's to get things started. Let's make sure we're actually using those bricks to build new ideas and grow on things as opposed to just throwing them at random people. Our sponsor for the day is Grammarly. If you stop by thisistheconversationproject.com/Grammarly, you will see a link to a website that will give you access to great words. or better words than you're probably using. Grammarly is what I use to spell check everything. It's an app that integrates with basically everything. Integrates with your Microsoft Office, integrates with your web stuff, so that everything you check gets spell checked, not just with the basic spell checker, but with Grammarly. It checks for grammar, it checks for spelling, it checks for whether you're plagiarizing things or not. That's a good thing, especially if you're writing papers, or if you're doing things like doing news reports, and to make sure that you're not copying things from whole cloth from people, that you're actually writing it as a real and live thing for yourself. That's something I really, really intend on doing. I try to do as this thing. Check it out at thisisaconversationproject.com/Grammarly. Now, Grammarly may be a bit on the higher end for some people, but trust me, as soon as I started using it, probably a decade ago, I gladly pay the full price for this thing because it saves me in everything. I use it for my work here, my side gig media stuff. I use it for my work in education. I used it for my work in radio to help do scripts there as well. This is a tool that you will not you will love. You cannot hate this. Check it out at thisisaconversationproject.com/Grammarly. This is an affiliate link, so we do get a bit of commission for this, but check it out today. Now let's check out the, as we say, the websites of note attached to the Conversation Project. Our main website, thisisaconversationproject.com. Check it out for links to all sorts of things, including how to find out to be a partner, how to find out more sponsors. If Grammarly is not your gig today, we have other people that might help you out. How to find the feeds and things on those ends, and what to do, what we do. Oh, why don't I just tell you what the feeds are? Facebook and Twitter, the old school old G's of communication and social media. They are our feeds. Follow us on our Facebook page. This is Conversation Project. And on Twitter, th_conversation. Every 50 minutes or so, we post a brand new news story for you to enjoy, read, imbibe, engage in. And the higher engagement you get, better chance we get to talk about it in this little form right here. That's how it works out. So Tuesday through Friday, we talk about stories from top 15 out of about 30 to 35. On Monday, we're going to go whole shebang. We have 3 days worth of stories, so 90, 95 worth of stories or so. Sometimes we'll peak at 100. Sometimes we'll actually get it in there and get it done right. And you can go through those stories and see what's going to be in the top 30. We'll pick about half of those to present to you on the Monday morning. And it takes a lot longer, and it's usually a lot more ramble, but we work on that as well. The Conversation Project's on TikTok at The Conversation Project. There you go. And also on YouTube. If you're not watching us on YouTube, we'd love you to subscribe and check that out and get notifications on that one. This is theconversationproject.com/YouTube. Subscribe and hit notifications so that when we go live at 5:50, you get us our little message like, hey, we're here. And you can watch us as you're getting ready for your day. 5:50 Central Time, I must say, by the way. A few more things on the way out the door. 21st birthdays of July. 21st of July birthdays, something like that. Gary Trudeau, the cartoonist from Doonesbury, is still alive and well and cartooning. 74 years old today. It's hard to believe he's only 74 years old. He seems like he's been doing this thing forever, basically all my life. When Doonesbury was the biggest thing in the world back in the 80s, and it basically ran politics and political commentary, he's still doing his thing, though, at 74 years old. John Lovitz, 65 years old today, maybe not big in the spotlight these days, but a big-time producer in the backgrounds, and of course, famous for his Saturday Night Live stuff and his cameos and various character actor roles in other movies. Josh Hartnett is 44 years old today, the young actor doing a lot of great things today. It was kind of a day for birthdays, but these are 2 or 3 pretty solid ones. They're a little Floridian slip. 3 very solid birthdays to present for today. Today is also Be Someone Day, and we just went with Be Someone Day. It's been, I'm going to do a little mental health check with you right here today. It's been a trying week for me. It's been a trying year for a lot of us. We still are living in pandemic-ish times, and right now they're starting to crank back up on the restrictions because coronavirus is back on the rise. So today is a day that we picked this to celebrate because we want you to be someone day. There's a link to Be Someone Day somewhere to tell exactly how to go, but we want you to declare that you are someone special. So go for it and do that. Be someone today for Be Someone Today, and just kind of get out your own personal funk with this one. I'll let you know how mine works because I got more stress to go into the day. It's just what it is. One more thing out the door. The super yacht business is booming. In 2021, the yacht industry sold 887 super yachts. That's a yacht that is more than 98 feet in length, which was about double the amount sold in 2020 and a record. There are about 5,400 super yachts in the world, of which roughly 100 rise all the way to the status of giga yacht, which may have a length of more than 295 feet. I don't know who's buying these yachts other than Jeff Bezos, and of course his yacht is stuck in dry dock because they can't get it out of the city they built it in. And I don't know what's going on because the only people driving them are oligarchs who are trying to run and keep them from being taken in. But, you know, there are people not making money. There are executives who are making record monies and getting big golden parachutes on buyouts. And there are super yachts. Go figure. I am Jay Cleveland Payne. This was the Thursday, July 21st edition of Things You Might Have Heard. We're going to prepare for a Friday, July 22nd edition, and we're actually doing it right now. Check out the feed so you can get in on the stories that are being posted all day long. Look out for that story on the Air Force colonel who is sending the scathing letter on his resignation. This is a good one. Trust me on this. This is a good one. This is one we need to talk about tomorrow because we can go deeper into how work works if we can talk about that one tomorrow. The big thing I need you to do is to stay hydrated because it's hot outside. Not sure how tea is working for hydration, but it's good for the throat in the morning. Stay limber and stay on task. We need you to make it through the day, make it through the week, make it through the weekend. We need you here doing great things with us. With that, I'm going to say thank you so much. Whether you watch this live or in the repeat going on, now that we have our 100 subscribers, you can see this come up initially in your repeat, so we like that as well. Make sure you check out our website, and you also subscribe to our newsletter, which gives you the links right there, plus a link to the replay. How about that? And check out the website where you can click on the past edition of the video cast. I keep on saying this, call it a podcast as well. With that, we've gone way over time. Thank you so much for your time. Let's get ready for another great day. We'll see you and wrap it up tomorrow.